This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you an exclusive interview with Shri Srinivas, Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, on celebration of Civil Services Day and Prime Minister's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration. The interviewer is Omvesh Upadhyay, AIR correspondent.
Every year, 21st of April is dedicated to the civil service officers to commemorate their exemplary services. And today, to discuss on this in detail, we are joined by Shri Srinivas, Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sir, to begin the discussion, I would like you to tell to our listeners that what is the significance of 16th Civil Services Day?
The 16th Civil Services Day will be celebrated on 21st April and it will be held under the theme Vikasit Bharat, Empowering Citizens and Reaching the Last Mile. The focus of the 16th Civil Services Day is to motivate the civil servants of India to dedicate themselves to the nation-first approach. The 16th Civil Services Day events will be held over 2 days on April 20th and April 21st. On April 20th, the civil servants across India, across services, across seniorities, deliberate on theme-based subjects in plenary sessions. And there would be 4 breakaway sessions that would deliberate on priority programs at district level to empower citizens, that would deal with aspirational blocks program, improving the quality of education, that is, improving outcomes through Vidya Samiksha Kendras, holistic health care for all, health and wellness centers, and piped water for all, Jal Jeevan Mission. An exhibition on good governance practices in India, which would showcase the Prime Minister's awarded initiatives for the period 2019, 2020, 2021 and 22, would be displayed during the Civil Services Day events. On April 21, the Honorable Prime Minister would address the nation's civil servants and confer the PM's awards for excellence in public administration.
So to take the discussion forward, I'd like to know from you the details on the Civil Services Awards, because we know that it has seen a transformational journey overall.
The Government of India had instituted a scheme in 2006, namely the Prime Minister's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration. The scheme was introduced to acknowledge, recognize and reward the extraordinary and innovative work done by districts and organizations of the central and state governments. The scheme was restructured in 2016 for recognizing the performance of district collectors in priority programs, innovations and aspirational districts. The scheme nominations were called on a dedicated portal, and what we witnessed was a quantum jump in the number of nominations being received. We would receive about 80 nominations till the year 2014, and thereafter almost universal application and participation across all districts of India has been witnessed. The scheme was restructured in 2020 to recognize the performance of district collectors towards economic development of the district, and it was again revamped with a new approach in 2021 with the objective to encourage constructive competition, innovation, replication and institutionalization of best practices. The Prime Minister was personally associated with the restructuring of the scheme and motivated civil servants through his Civil Service Day addresses to ensure that they participate in the highest possible numbers and submit quality applications based upon the innovative work and their contribution to good governance across the country. In the year 2022, an all-time high 748 districts participated in the Prime Minister's Awards scheme for excellence in public administration, which amounts to about 97% of the total districts of India. Of the 2,520 nominations that were received under the scheme, 16 nominations would be shortlisted for the PM's awards, which would be conferred by the Honorable Prime Minister on April 21, 2023.
Sir, whenever we talk about the civil servants, how can we say that Civil Services Day and these awards can also bring opportunity to them to network and learn about the best practice in the field of public grievances being implemented across the country?
The Honorable Prime Minister's address on Civil Services Day inspires civil servants for greater commitment and dedication in pursuit of excellence and service to the nation. The key takeaways from the 16th Civil Services Day would be empowering citizens and reaching the last mile with a saturation approach. Civil servants would be advised to focus on saturation of ongoing schemes to ensure holistic development in priority programs. There would also be discussions on achieving Viksit Bharat by 2047. Vision India at 2047 plans at district level were formulated in several districts as part of the Good Governance Week 2022, and these would form the basis of the roadmap forward to achieve Viksit Bharat. Replication and dissemination of best practices has been undertaken through the National Good Governance Webinar Series and also through regional conferences. Hitherto, 12 National Good Governance webinars have been held, in which 24 Prime Minister's Awards winners have presented their experiences to a national audience on a monthly basis. Further, 5 regional conferences have been held at Srinagar, Bengaluru, Itanagar, Mumbai and Bhopal in the year 2022, in which 500 civil servants participated in each webinar and exchanged their views on good governance practices. The award winners for the PM Award scheme for 2022 would also be invited to present their governance models in the coming year, in the year 23-24, through the National Good Governance Webinar Series as also through regional conferences. To further institutionalize good governance practices, the best practices and the award-winning models are being uploaded on government portals along with adequate documentation and dissemination. All efforts are being made to ensure replication of the good governance practices across the length and breadth of India.
So sir, we have seen a change of sending entries or filing application from nomination to application basis. We also know that there's a portal that the department introduced for filing their entries. So can you please share some details on the same?
There has been an exponential increase in the number of districts that have participated under the Prime Minister's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration. This transformation was brought about by shifting the focus from individual-based nominations towards team-based performances being recognized and applications being filed on a dedicated portal, which is the www.pmawards.gov.in, on which district collectors are encouraged to register themselves and submit their nominations. The 16th Civil Services Day preparations commenced with the launch of the scheme for PM's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration on October 2nd, 2022. The scheme has been implemented with tremendous commitment and gusto, and a number of outreach meetings in which district collectors of all states and union territories participated. This was again followed by outreach meetings with states and union territory governments and all ministries and departments of Government of India. This has resulted in a record participation in the scheme for PM's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration 2022. The massive response has created tremendous momentum for the Civil Services Day 2023. The events of 16th Civil Services Day have been curated to ensure participation of all stakeholders and domain experts. Senior union ministers would be addressing the 16th Civil Services Day 2023 events, and about 6,000 officers would be joining virtually. This exponential increase, not only in terms of filing of nominations, but also in participation of the Civil Services Awards, has been possible because of the visionary leadership of Prime Minister, which has resulted in every civil servant of India rededicating himself and committing himself for the service of the nation.
Sir, can you please share some details on the Abhinav Pahal portal as well?
The Abhinav Pahal portal is a portal that presents the innovations across India, as also the best practices, the awarded initiatives, and those innovations that have been replicated in districts. So, if a district collector wants to study the innovations that are available in education sector, health sector, water conservation, women and child, promoting livelihoods, boosting economy, improving governance, redressal of public grievances, aspirational districts program, rural development, agriculture, he can find those innovations in the various buckets. So he can immediately go there and see whatever are the innovations that have been done in that particular sector across the country and see if that particular innovation is replicable in his district. It also presents the district at 100 vision documents that have been placed and that have been created by district collectors, and a blog wherein which emerging ideas are new ideas which a district collector can share so that other officials can benefit from the new ideas that have been taken up, new initiatives with regard to participatory development, Jan Bhagidari, inclusivity, or even digital transformation.
Absolutely, sir. I would like to know from you how the performance of civil servants are evaluated, and are there any criteria for assessing their effectiveness?
The Prime Minister's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration are evaluated in a 3-stage format. There are screening committees that are chaired by additional secretaries of various ministries. There is an expert committee of secretaries that evaluates the format, and there is an empowered committee chaired by the cabinet secretary that looks and meets the nominees so that the best practices can be selected. There are also call centers which operate and feedback is taken from the beneficiaries, and further spot study reports are conducted by a team of 2 senior officials from Government of India at the rank of deputy secretaries or directors who visit the site and interact with the beneficiaries. The overall evaluation process of the Prime Minister's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration is an extremely comprehensive one, and it ensures that the highest quality nominations are shortlisted for the awards.
And sir, how to ensure the institutionalization of the best practices?
The institutionalization of the best practices is undertaken through a 3-pronged approach. One is through dissemination of the best practices through documentation available on the portal, on a dedicated portal, www.darpg.gov.in, wherein which under the category Administrative Reforms, the various nominations that have been received are available. The award-winning nominations can be studied from there. The second is through interactive regional conferences that are held in state capitals in collaboration with state governments, and hitherto 23 such regional conferences have been held in the period 2015 to 2023. In the year 2022, 5 regional conferences have been held. The third major area of dissemination and replication is through the National Good Governance webinar series, in which every month 2 award winners are invited to share their experiences.
Sir, as we are moving to the concluding stage of our program, can you also share how the District at 100 documents are created?
The District at 100 documents were prepared in pursuance of the Honorable Prime Minister's call to have Vision India at 2047 documents prepared at district level. So district collectors were invited to formulate these documents and discuss these documents in workshops that were held on Good Governance Day as part of the Good Governance Week events of 2022. Accordingly, 269 districts convened workshops at district level in which retired officers who served as district collectors in the district were invited to chair the sessions, along with startups, along with academics and other experienced stakeholders who understood governance. And these documents tried to project a medium-term, a short-term and a long-term framework in which the district's developmental priorities would be evolved over key thrust areas.
And sir, at last I want to know from you that how the Civil Services Award not only inspire but also motivate the civil servants to put forward their best efforts for nation building.
These awards provide tremendous motivation and require tremendous amount of dedication and commitment to ensure that good governance is practiced at the highest levels. An officer who receives the Prime Minister's Award represents a role model for civil servants, and there is much to learn from the capability and the dynamism that that officer has shown in taking up leadership roles in the field.
On that positive note, thank you so much, sir, for joining us today on All India Radio.
Thank you very much.
You were listening to an exclusive interview with Shri V. Srinivas, Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, on celebration of Civil Services Day and Prime Minister's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration. The interviewer was Omvesh Upadhyay, AIR correspondent. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio.